Alright, y'all, I wanted to show y'all this curious little contraption that I've got sitting here at the farm and kind of explain to y'all a little bit about what it is. And there's not a lot left of it, but it is pretty cool. This is a International 500 skidder. It was based on the 500 dozer, and it was made for skidding pulpwood. This is the only one I've ever seen up close, and I actually picked it up from the guy that I got my little 500 dozer from, and they didn't have a clue what it was. They thought it was something that had been used on the railroad. And I'll put up a picture of what it's actually supposed to look like when it's complete. Here's what it looks like with its working clothes on, y'all. The rubber tires on it actually had a set of tracks that went over the tires, and you can see the rear tires, how deep the tread is. That actually is what engaged the tracks to turn them. And then the front two wheels here pivot for some suspension, I guess. And then this very front one is what tensioned the track. Now, this thing's been completely tore all to pieces, but I bought it because of the cab that was on it, or the operator's cage that was on it. It will actually fit my 500 dozer, so that was just a real good starting point for me to fix that with. And in my early 20s, I was a wildland firefighter with the Forestry Commission, and recognized that they had actually used this as a wildland fire plow at some point in time. That's the frame for a Rome fire plow. It would have had a hydraulic cylinder on it to lift it up, and a middle buster and a coulter, and two big discs at the very back on the right and left to throw the dirt out of the fire break that the little middle buster had just made. And inside here, that was a mount for a radio, or possibly a fire shelter, but I think that's the same type of mount that was the radio that I had in my old dozer. Well, there's some kind of a plug right there, so I guess that was the radio mount. Yep, because the antenna mount's still in the roof of it. And then that was a bracket for the head of an axe to go in behind the operator, and there's a couple of fire extinguisher brackets that were on that side. Now, these things had a torque amplifier transmission in it, and the TA's still in this one, and a few gears left in it, and the dash piece. Now, my only real intention for this machine is to get the fire plow off the back of it and the cage off of the top there, because like I said, that will fit my 500 dozer, and I'm gonna use all that stuff for that machine, and the rest of it's just gonna be up for grabs if there's somebody that needs the rest of that or wants the rest of it. It's too cool to just throw in the scrapyard, really, because you just don't see any of these things.